Hello friends, welcome to the part 2 of NetflixClone. So if you haven't watched the part 1 of NetflixClone yet, then you can check my description. I added the video link, and now without wasting any time, let us jump into our project. Now the time is come to actually use the API that is provided by TMDB. So here we can actually show the random movie, and here we have to print lot of the movies in rows. So for that I am using the MovieDB website that provide us nice pictures. So you can go inside this, and first you have to create account. If you don't have any account yet, then go inside this settings, and I want to go inside this API. If you have to generate your API, then read this documentation, and here we have our API key. I don't want to show my API key, but below this the API key that we have to use inside our Visual Studio Code. So copy the stuff that is API key exactly below here. I don't want to show. I repeat again. Now come back inside our Visual Studio Code, and I want to create a new file that is axios.js, because to provide the path between our API and this Netflix content, we are going to use this Axios. So remember, Axios is a library that helps us make HTTP requests to external resources, and in our React applications, we often need to retrieve our data from external APIs so it can be displayed in our web pages. So I created axios.js file. So first we have to import Axios, and remember I create a new terminal, and first I want to go inside my Netflix. So cd Netflix, and here we have to install Axios. So I write here Axios and press enter here. After this, I want to create the instance. So axios.create, and here we have to provide the base URL of our TMDB website like this. API dot the movie db.org/3. So this is the basic URL that our TMDB provide us. So we apply inside our Axios, and then I want to export because we want to use inside our another files. So export our instance and save this file. Then I want to create a new file called request.js, and here I actually want to put that the URL we copy from our TMDB website inside our request.js file. I want to create a new variable for our API key. So here you have to paste your API key. So I paste my API key whenever I will offline, and here I want to create another variable for our request, and you can simply paste this stuff like me. You can simply go inside the description and open my GitHub repository and copy this stuff, and I want to export default requests and save the file. Remember wherever we added, because you can see this is the default base URL that we apply. So whenever inside our front end we click on the fetch trading, then this URL will automatically apply behind this basic URL, and we got the use result according to our top rated movies, action movies, horror movies, whatever. Now I want to write here my API key like this, but I want to do this process offline. Now I write my API key, so I want to close this file and now go inside our banner.js, and first we have to import that request file from request, and here first we have to fetch our movie randomly to show inside our banner. So first I want to make the use of use effect. So here first I want to create our hooks. So const movie set movie use state, and by default it is empty array, and then we have to use the fetch data. So I apply that style inside my use effect. We also have to import that, and inside this I want to use this asynchronous function, and that is fetch data. I create a variable called request, so we have to await our Axios to get our random movie. So Axios dot get, and here first we have to fetch our Netflix originals by using the requests. So fetch Netflix originals, and after this you can see here our movie is by default empty, and after fetching the stuff we have to change the state of our movie. So I write here set movie, and I change the movie according to our results. So request dot data dot results, and I want to apply randomly movie here, so I use math dot floor and math dot random asterisk here request dot data, and remember this is our array, so here we have to provide the length, and after this For our cleanup functionality, I want to return our request. Then I want to call our function again by repeating. So I write here fetch data, that will call automatically our function, and here I pass empty array similar like before, and now save our file. Here there is an error because we forgot to import Axios. So now save, and here you can see there is only Axios here inside this axios.js file. And this is not working because here we have to write request.data.results, and now save the file, refresh our page, go inside our inspect and console, and here you will get our movie, and make sure here inside our Axios, here we apply slash, then here all of this stuff is correct. Here some modification GENRES, so this stuff will be correct, and if they will be correct, then we successfully get our picture here. So let us go inside our description, sorry, this background image. Here inside our background image, first we have to remove this by default black image, and we paste the URL that our TMDB provide us, and every time we'll refresh our app we get new movie randomly. So here first we have to provide this path image.tmdb slash original, and here we have to fetch our movie path. So inside this dollar syntax I write movie backdrop underscore path and close the curly braces, and you can see here we actually get the image randomly. Whenever I refresh we will get a new image, you can see, and here there is some black div because remember inside our banner.js we apply this empty div banner fade bottom, so you can see there is like some black div. And now again go inside our this movie name. So first inside our this h1 class, instead of movie name here we actually want to print, so I write here movie title, and if the title of movie will not available then I want to print movie name. So this is the TMDB stuff that we display inside our app, and movie, so this is the basically or, and movie original underscore name. So you can see we can actually get the name of our movie, yes, and after this go inside our description, and I want to remove these basic stuff. So let us, instead of this, here we have to write movie overview and save. So you can see we can actually get the description, and if our description will too long, then here there will be default 3 dot, because we added a functionality here, truncate functionality. So you can see here our banner is complete now. We can actually get a random image, the movie name, the button functionality, and the description of our movie properly. So after this banner, now I want to go inside app.css and I want to provide the background color. This is not mandatory. And now the actually time is come to implement rows after our banner. So for that, I want to create a new file, row.js and row.css. So go inside our banner.js, and first we have to, sorry, not inside banner.js, but go inside our home screen, and here we have to import row, and we actually want to display row like this. And now save the file, go inside row.js. Here we want to write inside this h2, this is title, and here we want to import row.css. So now save our file. So you can see here this is title is added successfully, and inside our home screen, instead of this row, we can actually display this. So first row is for our Netflix original movies, and the title of our first component is Netflix original, and here we apply fetch URL. So the request according to Netflix original will be called, and the second row is for trending, then top rated, action movies, so on. So you can simply copy this and paste inside your machine. So now save the file, and here you can see request is not defined. So first we have to import request. So you can see this is title will be show here. Yes. So now we have to do some modification inside our row.js. So first we have to import Axios, then inside this row we actually pass the props from our home screen to row.js, because you can see the title we pass. So first we have to get here title, fetch URL, and is large row, because for our Netflix original we want to display is large row, because we want to make big our Netflix originals. So is large row, and by default it is false. Bear with me whenever I save this file and display here. You can understand this functionality properly. Then I want to make the use of our hooks. So movies and set movies is equal to use state, and then I want to apply base URL similar like our Axios. So here we apply the base URL and HTTPS, and this comes from image.tmdb, original, and then we have to add some event listeners. So we have to use effect. So here first we have to fetch our data similar like we do inside our this banner component. So this is asynchronous function, const request. So first we have to await our Axios and get fetch URL. Because remember, each row has its own title and its own fetch URL. And then we have to change the state of our movies. By default it is empty array. So now it will be request dot data results. Then we have to return our request. This stuff we do earlier inside our banner component. We call our function inside our function. Then instead of only empty array, here we have to pass fetch URL. Now save the file, and inside our return, but first we have to solve this error. So now save our file, and you can see here our error is gone now. And let us jump inside our return statement. So here I want to assign class name, that is row, and this is title. After this I want to actually show the posters. Like this, you can see here there are multiple rows. So first we have to display that kind of rows. So I want to create a new div for that with class name row posters. The name is totally up to you. And here we actually want to map through our movies. So map is similar like our array. So here we have to display our movies. So remember, by default our movies is null, and we change the state from empty array, and we show all of this movie here inside our map function. So here by default we have to pass one parameter, so I use this movie, and inside this I use is large row. Bear with me whenever I save. You can simply understand what I do here. Poster path. Remember, there are two row component. First is Netflix original, and for that we applying is large row, and others we don't applying that. So here we write not is large row, and here again we want to display the poster, so I use here poster path and here backdrop path. Inside this I actually want to display the image, so I want to use the image tag with class name. Here I am using backtick and write row poster is large row and row poster large. So here we applying by default this row poster class name, and if for our Netflix original we apply is large row and row poster large because we want to make big the Netflix original movies. And first we have to close this, and then here we have to pass the key. So movie.id, each movie has its own individual key, and here we have to pass the source. So inside our backtick I am using this dollar syntax, base URL, is large row, then I want to display poster path, otherwise I want to display backdrop path. You can see the functionality that we apply here also is large than poster path, and that is not large than backdrop path. So this is the functionality that we change multiple times because we don't want any bug inside our Netflix clone. And after this we want to print the alt movie name. So if the background image of any movie can't fetch, then here we have to pass the alt, and then we have to complete our image tag. Then I want to apply margin left. Then let us apply CSS for our row posters. So that will be display flex. So it will be show horizontally. Overflow Y will be hidden. Overflow X is scroll, because like Netflix you can see here we can scroll them horizontally but not vertically. So I write here overflow X is scroll and Y is hidden, and also apply padding is 20 pixels. Then let us apply CSS for our images. So for that here I am using row underscore underscore poster, and this is not CSS video, so I explain in brief. You can see guys, here we got max height 100 pixels, margin right is also applied between our images. You can see the gap, width is 100%. Transition I use, and I use this object fit content because we want to maintain the aspect ratio, because whenever we increase the size of this you can see this is responsive, and you can see here we can scroll this because we write here overflow X is scroll and overflow Y hidden. Then I want to apply the hover effect. So whenever I go inside any poster you can see here there is some kind of hover effect that we get by using this CSS stuff. Then let us apply CSS for this class row poster large, and this is for our Netflix originals. So write this. You can see here this is large posters for our Netflix originals, and we also apply the hover effect, and this looks awesome guys. You can see, and here you can see this looks disgusting, so we have to remove these scroll bars. So I write here row posters WebKit scroll bar display none, so it will be gone now. You can see here the scroll bar that looks horizontally, it will gone now, and you can see the front end is ready. Here you can get the Netflix originals, trending movies, top rated movies, action movies, romantic movies and documentaries. So let us refresh. You can see here every time I refresh I get the new movie here along with the poster image, and this looks awesome. And here this is our Netflix originals. You can see here a nice hover effect. This is our trending movies, top rated movies. Here whenever I scroll you can see the black navbar, and here there will be transparent. Here you can get the fade bottom view. Here the nice button, description, our Netflix logo and our user logo. So here you can see our website is also responsive, and if you got any error while making this Netflix clone you can simply check my description. I added the GitHub repository link so you can copy the code inside your computer. So the front end part is complete now successfully, and let us take a quick pause here. If you want to continue with this project then you can check my description. I added the part 3 video link, and if you like this part 2 then give me a thumbs up. and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done yet. So thank you and bye bye. Keep watching to IT Buddies.